During my meditation this morning, I had some deep revelations and questions around the nature of the work that I'm doing and have been doing, and also some revelations and some questions around the nature of the books that I've been reading lately as well. Because one of the great things about reading a book that's about consciousness expansion, in my perception, is that it leaves you with the opportunity for deeper questions to ask on the nature of what you're learning. And it's really important to come to a place in my perception where you are asking questions around the nature of what you're learning about when you actually read a book, and then your own perceptions around what you believe, well, not believe, what you perceive. Not believe, perceive. So as I drop into the book that I'm finishing up, The Dream by David Icke, and the nature of my work with meditation, which is meta meditation, which I've been doing for many years, what I had this morning when I was meditating was, the question was, who is the I? Who is the I? I am. Who is that? What is that? That was the question that came to me as I was meditating this morning, was who is the I and what is the I? I am. Because if my experience with a near-death experience I had when I took a great heroic dose of magic mushrooms back in my 20s, when I actually asked to know what I really was, and I was shown what could potentially be perceived to be, after reading that book by David Icke, The Dream, it could have been a layer of a construct by the interdimensional AI, which I wrote about in the book United, which could be a construct created by the AI that I wrote about, the interdimensional AI, that's light years ahead of what we know in the public today, in our world, in our frequency band we call 3D. In our civilization. It made me really kind of question the nature of what I experienced in that deeply heartfelt, and it was deeply heartfelt, experience of the dissolution of the ego, and what was left was the awareness. What was left was the awareness. And that awareness, what that awareness experienced, my question then becomes, was that what I experienced in that deep dissolution of the ego and the body, was it a form of a projection, a construct created by the interdimensional AI to trap me onto my consciousness, my point of awareness, in a place, a location that I would, when I would leave my awareness leaves this holographic form, would go to that location and be harvested in the Loosh farm and then sent back to the Loosh farm, which this is, according to David Icke's work, and I totally feel the same way, sent back to this location where I am in this frequency band. But in my meditation this morning, when I was meditating, I had that question, who is the I am? What is the I am? Because when I'm in my heart space, deeply in my heart space, meditating in my heart space, I feel this dissolution of the body completely, and the ego is gone as well. And I began to question the nature of what I was doing when I was meditating and using the Neville Goddard techniques, using the Lynn Grabhorn techniques of living in the end, keeping my valve open, so to speak, as Lynn Grabhorn says, to allow my true nature, which is pure joy, euphoria, to exist and to exist in this frequency band and to permeate this frequency band and resonate out into this frequency band, which is, I feel, as awareness, the most important aspect of that practice is to feel into the heart space, let the dissolution of the ego happen, get out of the way of yourself. So therefore, my question was to myself in that meditation as well, the last 8 years of my time in Auckland meditating, the first half an hour, 20 minutes or so, I would meditate and visualize living in the end. Living in the end is a Neville Goddard work, visualizing my presence and myself being in a situation where I have that which I want to create within the 3D frequency band. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just a simple projection It's a feeling. It's more of a feeling than a projection. It's a feeling. It's a visualization process of having this end, but feeling it like I have it already, right? So after reading the book, The Dream, my question became, and in this meditation I had this morning as well, was like, okay, what I'm visualizing, what I'm feeling is very egoic in the sense that it's not, does it align with my spirit? Does it align with all that is, ever has been, and ever can be? Am I looking at it as purely an experience, or am I looking at it as, am I feeling into it as more of an egoic sense? This is what I want to create in my life in an egoic sense. Is it ego that's pushing me into this place of this visualization, an egoic fantasy, a want to create from that place of ego? Or is it a place that aligns with spirit? Does it align with spirit? Does it align with infinite possibility, all that ever has been, ever is, and ever will be? Does it align with that? These are questions I was asking myself during my meditation. So, and I'll ask myself this question again now, in my meditation. What is the I am? What is the I am? Is it the awareness that I feel when I drop into my heart space? I allow my heart space to permeate the space, the toroid field that's created by my heart vortex, by my heart. The toroid field, is that the nature of who I am? Because when I get back to a baseline, if you look at the David Icke work in regards to what he perceives to be how it works in the frequency band we call the simulation 3D, is that it goes from electrical to digital to holographic, and our bodies are holographic representations within the simulation. But the baseline's electric. The baseline is electric, and if you look at the electrical universe hypothesis theory of Michael Talbot and many others, I think it's Michael Talbot, that we're living in an electrical universe, then the baseline for us within the frequency band, because the simulation is electrical. So when I'm deeply in my heart space through meditation, I feel the electricity flowing through my form, holographic form. I can actually feel it, right? When you have a moment where you have, let me give you another example, when you feel afraid, you often have a situation where you have electrical stimulation to the body. You feel like hairs in the back of your neck go up. When you feel like, when you have a situation where you meet someone that you're really attracted to, you have that feeling of also of like, you have a strong feeling of arousal, and it becomes electric, you know. There's an electrical context to these quite deep and obviously real sensations that one feels, and it's the baseline within the frequency band. It's electrical. So I find it really interesting when I was in this space, when I was in this deep level of meditation in my heart space, I began to feel the electricity flowing through my body and connecting to the field around me, the simulation around me, and beyond the simulation, the baseline's electrical. So I come back to that. Is that what I am? I am a point of attention in an electrical universe. One of my friends years ago said to me that when you're in the, when you see yourself as what you really are, when you remove the ego and the body, what you are is a point of light, like a spark. And David Icke calls the essence, the spirit of what we are, the divine spark. It is the point of light. And Don Matos, Carlos Castaneda's teacher, says that human beings are luminous eggs. So I find it, and that's probably like when I hear that, what I think about that, when I think about the idea of the electrical field, and the idea of a luminous egg, what I think about right away is an electrical field. So when I was meditating this morning, I had that feeling like, you know, this is the baseline and the frequency and the simulation. It's electrical, as David Icke pointed out in his book, The Dream. That's where it starts. It's an electrical thing. It's the baseline. So I was getting back to the baseline through my meditations and my heartfelt meditations, my deep meditation. I was getting to that place of where I was actually in an electrical field, and the body had dissolved. But I come back to this point. In my first visualizations of my meditations, when I consider the nature of what I want to create in this simulation, and the whole idea of success within the simulation, right? It just seems pointless to me. It's like being in the game and knowing you're in a game, and then understanding that what you're doing is trying to create within the game, which is nothing wrong with that. It's not good nor bad. It's just simply, as long as you understand it's all an illusion and you realize that, and you're not adhering to it or giving any credence in anything other than it's simply a game, then it's okay. It's okay. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm not saying it's sinking me further into the trap. But my question then becomes, once again, is that by doing this work, this every morning, doing this 20 minutes of visualization and feeling into it, when I was deeply in the meditation this morning, all I felt was let all that shit go and align with spirit. Infinite possibility, all that is, ever has been, and ever will be. Align with that energy and forget about everything else. That was the message that came to me today. Forget about everything else. Forget about the nature of your perceptions and your co-creations with the universe just for a moment here, and just feel into the space of infinite possibility. All that ever is, has been, and ever will be, which is what you truly are. And just feel into that. How does it feel to be there in that space? Let go of the visualizations that aren't working for you, because obviously on some level they're not aligning for you. That's what I felt this morning when I was meditating. They're not aligning for me in a way that I have that obviously worked for me, because if this was aligning for me and it wasn't in a place of ego, then maybe my experience would be different. I'd be having that experience right now in my life. So the message was quite clear. The I am at the baseline within the simulation frequency is digital. Sorry, is electrical. Is electrical. And that's how we connect to levels of existence within this frequency band. That's my own empirical experience from my meditations this morning. It's an electrical universe. And therefore at the baseline within the simulation, if that's what we are truly in, that's how you connect to the field within the simulation electrically. Boom, at the baseline. For me, I can co-create within the simulation, or I can energize and bring into the simulation beyond the digital and the holographic by anchoring into the electrical through my heart vortex and allowing what aligns with my spirit, getting closer to my spirit through that process of meditation, dropping into my heart space, and then going like, okay, from this point, what aligns with me with my spirit that I need to bring into this level of existence, into this frequency, into the simulation. What aligns with me? Big question. What aligns? Because what doesn't align, in my experience, hasn't manifested in my life experience in the last 8 months. And I'm seeing that around me. And then this morning, like I've already said several times in my meditation, it felt like, let it all go, man. Because the question then becomes, on that place of letting it all go, how much of what I feel is me clinging onto the ego rather than the spirit. Rather than the spirit. Infinite possibility, all that ever is, ever has been, and ever will be. Coming to that place, going there, when I'm there meditating, I'm in that space, I feel that expansiveness. All that I feel and all that I want to draw into my field of awareness is just simply the expansion. And then in that expansion, I feel euphoric. And then I ask the question once again, due to the nature of what I've read in the David Icke books, the AI, the interdimensional AI, has the ability to generate within your field of awareness through the holographic form chemicals, hormones, experiences that would give you that feeling of euphoria. So my question then is the euphoria that I'm feeling in my heart space, is that truly mine? Is it my experience of all that is, ever has been, ever will be, manifesting in this frequency band? Or is it a manipulation, a creation of the AI, if you believe in the interdimensional AI exists and is controlling the simulation, that the interdimensional AI is actually in that moment and I'm feeling that, creating a trap for my consciousness. These are questions I don't have answers for. These are questions that I will work through in regards to my meditations and feel more into. And these are really healthy questions to have for my consciousness expansion, you know. So therefore, the I am that I have, you know, the whole idea of I am, just kind of lose that now. I'm losing that concept of the I am, because for me, when I consider that, it feels, when I consider and I feel into that space of I am, it feels like, it feels artificial, it feels fabricated. Because infinite possibility, all that ever is, all that is, ever has been, and ever will be, has no labels and no appellations. It simply is. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Mā te wā. I'll see you again soon.